My name is Ethan. I'm 35 years old, a freelance mechanic. I built my small workshop in town with my own two hands. 3 years ago, I met Sophie. She was 32, a teacher, beautiful, gentle, and more importantly, a single mother to a 16-year-old boy named Liam. That day, I thought I had found my true home. At first, everything went smoothly. Liam didn't seem too keen on having a stepfather, but he wasn't overly opposed either. I was patient helping him with his homework, going to his basketball games, even teaching him how to drive. I truly wanted to be a good father. But gradually there were strange signs that I foolishly ignored. Liam would secretly text quickly, turning off his phone when I walked into the room. Sophie became increasingly evasive every time I asked about finances. And at some point, she completely took control of the joint account with the excuse, "You're busy working all day. Let me handle it." I was a fool for believing her. About 2 months ago, Liam's attitude changed drastically. It wasn't just teenage indifference, it was open contempt. He mocked my car, the way I dressed, even the way I laughed. Sophie just smiled apologetically. "He's growing up, you have to understand." But the looks they exchanged were cold, mysterious, as if they were sharing a secret I wasn't allowed to know. The climax was that dinner. We sat around the table. The lasagna Sophie cooked smelled delicious, but I had no appetite to enjoy it. Liam was texting and smirking. Then suddenly he put his phone down on the table, looked straight at me, and said, enunciating each word, "We need to talk." I put my fork down, nodding. "Go ahead." Sophie squeezed her son's hand lightly, as if encouraging him. Liam raised his head, his voice hard. "Mom and I don't want you here anymore. You should leave. The sooner the better." I raised an eyebrow, saying nothing. Sophie immediately chimed in her eyes. "Icy, Ethan, this isn't working out anymore. Liam and I need to start over." He threw a sentence like a punch to the gut. "You're not my real father. You have no right to tell me what to do." Suddenly, all the pieces fell into place. The shady calls, the missing money, the scornful looks, everything had a reason. I crossed my arms, leaning back in my chair. Very calmly. "So what's your plan?" "Use my money to welcome Ryan back into the picture." Ryan, Sophie's ex-husband, also the one she always used as an excuse to avoid mentioning Sophie, was speechless. Liam looked at his mother in confusion. I gave a cold laugh. "Let me give you a heads up. This is my house. All the assets are mine too. You two are just crashing here." I took out my phone, quickly pressed a few buttons. "In 20 minutes, the security team will be here to change the locks. You have until noon tomorrow to pack your things. As for Ryan, I advise him to double-check the paperwork before dreaming about this house." Sophie turned pale. Liam flushed, stammering, Mom said Dad had a plan." I stood up, looking straight into his eyes. "Oh, right, Liam, I'm not your real father. A real father would never let you lose everything like this. Ask your mother where all your college tuition money went." I turned away, leaving behind their cries, their yelling and threats that no longer carried any weight. No need to argue, no need to get angry, just leave as the victor. The next morning I sat leisurely drinking coffee in the kitchen. No more sneering, no more contemptuous looks. Only a peaceful silence, a luxury I had lost for the past 3 years. Outside there was a clattering sound. Sophie and Liam were hurriedly stuffing things into old suitcases. They thought they could still bargain. They thought tears and yelling would sway me. They forgot one thing: when a man is silent, that's when he's most dangerous. Around 9 a.m., Sophie rushed into the kitchen, phone in hand, her voice shrill. "What did you do to my account? All the credit cards are blocked." I picked up my coffee cup nonchalantly. "Oh, just simply protecting my legal assets. All fraudulent spending has been frozen. The accounts that transferred money to Ryan, they've been reported too." Her face was ashen. Liam ran downstairs, his face pale. "Mom, I can't log into Netflix. My games are locked too." I smiled. "Oh, those accounts. They're all in my name." Panic filled the house that once echoed with their laughter, mocking me. Right then, the doorbell rang. It was the security team and my lawyer, Mr. Carter, who had helped me prepare everything beforehand. He handed Sophie a thick envelope. "This is the divorce petition and an order to vacate the property within 48 hours. If you don't comply, we will proceed with eviction." Sophie trembled, her voice fading. You, you can't do this. We're family, Ethan." I just looked straight into her eyes calmly. "Family. You sold that out a long time ago." Liam stood there frozen. A boy who once arrogantly called me a loser now looked like a lost child. I didn't gloat. That wasn't necessary, because the heaviest punishment is for them to suffer the consequences of their own actions. All that day, I leisurely worked remotely, occasionally glancing at the security camera, watching the mother and son frantically pack, argue, and blame each other. Sophie called Ryan to pick them up, but he refused. He even sneered. "I'm not your charity case." Hearing Sophie's desperate cries on the phone, I gently shook my head. It turned out that in this game of deception, the ultimate victim was the first betrayer. That night, Liam posted a lengthy status update online. "Kicked out of the house just for a bit of teenage rebellion. Family is so disappointing." In less than an hour, the comments section blew up. "Little nephew, did you just find out your stepfather paid your tuition? How unfortunate, who would betray the person who raised them like that? You reap what you sow." Under the light of truth, their fake halo shattered faster than anyone could have imagined. When the clock struck 11:58 a.m. the next day, exactly 2 minutes before the deadline, Sophie and Liam dragged themselves out of the house they once considered their spoils. I didn't see them off, just stood in the living room, raised my whiskey glass, and said to myself, an old chapter has closed. My old self has left, and a new life has just begun. It only took exactly 1 week for their world to crumble. The first message I received was from an old friend. She worked at Liam's school. The text was brief: "You should know about this." Attached was a screenshot. Liam was being summoned by the school board. The charge: cheating on his grades by having a friend hack the school system to inflate his scores. Not to mention the scattered evidence on social media where he bragged about his achievements. The result: banned from all extracurricular activities. Lost his scholarship, and worst of all, Liam Morton's name became a laughingstock at school. As for Sophie, she dug her own grave even faster than I imagined. After leaving the house, Sophie temporarily moved in with friends, but in less than a month, all those relationships fell apart. Her best friend, who used to help her out, also cut ties when she discovered Sophie had borrowed money and stiffed her. The cousin Sophie used to confide in to badmouth me now completely sided with me. When the truth came out, I sat back and watched their dirty game fall apart piece by piece. Those who once laughed at me, who smugly thought they had won, now didn't even have a decent roof over their heads. I even got to enjoy another drama. One Sunday afternoon, while leisurely watering the plants in the front yard, I saw an old car pull up in front of the door. Out stepping Ryan, the man Sophie and Liam had dreamed of replacing me with. His shirt was wrinkled, his shoes were worn out. He walked over, his eyes filled with cowardice. "Hey, Ethan, we're adults. We can work this out, right?" I smirked. "Compromise about what?" He scratched his head, his voice hoarse. "Sophie and the kid are having a hard time. If you let them come back to the house, I'll back off." I chuckled, emphasizing each word. "I don't save people who jump into a pit themselves, and I certainly don't save traitors." He was about to say something more, but seeing me take out my phone, the camera was still rolling, he immediately turned around and ran straight back to his car. That night, Sophie sent me an email, long and rambling, complaining, blaming, begging, mixed with a few accusations that I had destroyed her family. I read it, then just hit delete. No response, no remorse. Because I understood I didn't destroy their family. They tore it apart themselves just because of greed and stupidity. What about Liam? He's now working as a sales assistant at a local supermarket. No more new iPhones, no more designer shoes. Just an old uniform and shifts that last until late at night. Once I happened to pass by, saw him diligently carrying boxes. Our eyes met for a second. I nodded slightly. No smile, no contempt. Just the end had been sealed. Life after the storm turned out to be more brilliant than I had ever imagined. In the early days, I still reflexively flinched when I entered the house, still unconsciously prepared dinner for three, still looked up, searching for laughter. Laughter that I now realize was never truly meant for me. But then from that very emptiness, a new Ethan gradually formed. I started spending time on the things I loved. Renovating the backyard into a small barbecue area, taking a cooking class on weekends, exercising every morning. The house that was once filled with resentment and lies was now filled with the smell of baked goods and soft music. No one sneered anymore. No one scrutinized every move I made. Freedom pure, uncompromising. One day, while browsing for books at an old bookstore in town, I happened to meet Amelia, a girl with a gentle smile and intelligent eyes. At first, it was just a few casual conversations. Then it turned into short coffee dates, evenings strolling through the park together, talking about all sorts of little things, Amelia didn't ask about my past. She was only interested in who I was right now. No pretense, no calculations, no need for me to prove I was worthy. For the first time in a long time, I felt truly seen for who I am. What about the old people? Sophie left town, taking her shattered dreams with her. I heard she's working as a waitress at a small diner in the suburbs, barely making ends meet. Ryan vanished without a trace after getting involved in a lawsuit related to financial fraud. And Liam, I heard he's an apprentice at an old garage, struggling to earn every penny. Sometimes sitting on the balcony on clear nights, sipping whiskey, watching the town lights twinkle on the hillside, I silently give thanks. Thank you for betraying me. Because of that, I get to become the best version of myself. A person's life sometimes needs those collapses to then rise up stronger, more beautiful, more proud. And I, Ethan Morton, have returned. No need to prove anything to anyone. Life goes on quietly but surely. It's been almost a year since that night. Sophie and Liam left this house, and also almost a year since the day I officially started my life over. The last message from Sophie was 6 months ago. A long, rambling text blaming circumstances, blaming Ryan, blaming everyone, except herself. I didn't reply. I've learned a big lesson. Not everyone deserves forgiveness, and not everyone deserves to be carried along on my new journey. What about Liam? Occasionally I see the boy from years ago now, very different, quietly walking his old bicycle through the neighborhood, no longer with that arrogant, complacent look, only silence and regret etched on his shoulders. I don't resent him. I also don't reach out. If one day Liam is mature enough to understand the door of kindness is always open. But whether or not he steps through it is his decision. And me, I've rebuilt everything from the rubble. My career is smoother than ever. My friends are genuine. No one takes advantage of me. And Amelia, the woman who chose me for who I am not, for my wallet or any label. One night while grilling in the backyard with Amelia, she leaned on my shoulder whispering, "Do you regret loving the wrong person?" I chuckled softly. No, because if it weren't for those falls, I would have never learned to stand up so firmly. We sat there under the starry sky without worry, without fear. Only peace, something I had to pay a very high price to find again. Sometimes the people who hurt you the most unintentionally teach you to become the best version of yourself. Life will always have betrayers, people who hold your hand and then let go. But don't let that darkness overshadow the light within you. Because sometimes being betrayed isn't the end, but the beginning of a more brilliant journey. If today's story resonates with you, please click like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video to spread these valuable lessons to more people. Don't forget, every wound can become a medal if you are resilient enough to rise from it. Thank you for listening. Or see you in the next stories.